Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and blessings to the elect of Israel out there that's pushing this word in truth and sincerity. Alright, this lesson is going to be called Gods and Power, because, the Spirit is going out heavy about that brother's testimony in Dallas about, basically the vision that Edomite got when he went into a coma, and how he said that real soon Israel is going to get spiritual power, and that Esau's family isn't gonna or is gonna receive a whole lot of evil. All right, so and it's also gonna be a response about the Apostle Gabar's video about when he brought out that ye are gods. As a matter of fact, I'll just start with that. Alright, because he did a good video following up to the video where he mentioned it, talking about how we are going to be like gods, or like the Most High, basically. Alright. Yeah. Psalms 82. Alright, Psalms 82 and 6. I have said ye are gods, and all of you are children of the Most High. And what that makes me think of is Romans 8 and 18, where it says, or Romans 8 and 16. I'll get that real quick. Alright, because what does it say? It says, Romans 8 and 16. The Spirit itself beareth witness with our spirit that we are children of God. And if children, then heirs, heirs of God, and joint heirs with Mashiach, Yahushai. If so be that we suffer with him, that we may be also glorified together. So we're suffering with Yahushai, so we're going to receive the same glory. We're going to be like Yahushai, alright, who is a God in a sense. Because that word God, when you break it down, it means ruler and judge, alright. Now, the living God, the true power is Yahweh, alright. And he's setting up his gods right now, alright. And he's about to give them mighty power. And right now, we do have it. We're just waiting for the right time to release it, alright. Because Yahushua had the power back then to call on angels, but he waited because he had a job to do. Same thing with us. We have that power, alright? It's just that we're waiting on Yahushua to come back to release that power. But and another account I wanted to give is Acts 14. I'm going to start at... I'll start at 8. And there sat a certain man at Lystra, impotent in his feet, being a cripple from his mother's womb, who never had walked. So he was born a cripple, born disabled, alright, physically disabled. The same heard Paul speak, who steadfastly beholding him, and perceiving that he had faith to be healed. So Paul saw that he was diligent in his faith. And so this is what happened. Then said with a loud voice, stand upright on thy feet. And he leaped and walked. Now, that's just a crazy thing. That's miraculous, And you have to have a certain spirit on you to tell a crippled person to stand up and walk. Imagine somebody, an unbeliever, he must have been laughing, but then until he stood up, man. And when the people saw what Paul had done, they lift up their voices, saying in the speech of Lycaonia, which is the native speech of Lystra, the gods are come down to us in the likeness of men. So they thought, whatever their mythological gods were, They thought that they were them. They mistook them for gods. All right, and in a sense they were, but they weren't the gods that they thought they were believing them to be. It says, and they called Barnabas Jupiter, because they thought he was Jupiter, and Paul Mercurius, because he was the chief speaker. So they're going off. They thought that they were the true. They basically thought that they were false idols, and then the priest of Jupiter, which was before their city, brought oxen and garlands unto the gates, and would have done sacrifice with the people. So they started getting started giving them gifts and stuff, which when the apostles Barnabas and Paul heard of, they rent their clothes and ran in among them, among the people, crying out. When they rent their garments, that's like a sign of that they're angry. All right, so they got heated, tore their garments up, and ran out into them and saying, "Sirs, why do ye do these things? We also are men of like passions with you, and preach unto you that ye should turn from these vanities unto the living God." So he's like basically cussing them out, saying, "Look, man, fuck Jupiter, fuck Mercurius. The true living power is Yahweh through his son, Yahweh Shai. That's how we did this. I'm just like you. We're no different." All right? And that's an important thing to remember. All right? The power that we have and the title of God that we have, it comes from Yahweh Bashim Yahshai. So don't get caught up in wanting to be like making a name for yourself. All right? Because the apostles and even Yahweh Shai, he gave all glory to Yahweh. And the apostles gave glory to Yahweh Shai. I'm going to finish this out. It says, "And saying, Sirs, why do ye these things? We also are men of like passions with you, and preach unto you that ye should turn from these vanities unto the living God, which made heaven and earth and the sea and all things that are therein." All right. I'm going to get Acts the 3rd chapter. I'll start at 6. It's a similar story. There's a dude lame from his mother's womb, born a cripple basically, and he was carried to them. All right, this is Acts 3 and 6. "Then Peter said, Silver and gold have I none, but such as I have give I thee. In the name of Yahweh Shai, Mashiach of Nazareth, all right, rise up and walk." So here it is. He's telling another crippled to stand up and walk. That's a bold thing to do. I mean, imagine that. Imagine walking up to a guy in a wheelchair, paralyzed, that's never walked on his foot in his life. You tell him to walk, like yelling at him, like, "Hey, get up and walk." I mean, that's crazy. Just to have the faith to say something like that, But it's not crazy to us because we know we're going to be able to do it. All right? "And he took him by the right hand and lifted him up, and immediately his feet and ankle bones received strength." So not only did he say it, he grabbed him up and picked him up. He's like, "Hey, walk." and he started walking, man. "And he leaping up stood and walked and entered with them into the temple, walking and leaping and praising the Most High." So not only was he walking, he was leaping. He was jumping up. Probably doing that little ankle kick thing, heel click thing, jumping up and clicking his heels. And then it says, "And all the people saw him walking and praising Yahweh through his son Yahweh Shai. And they knew that it was he which sat for alms at the beautiful gate of the temple. And they were filled with wonder and amazement at that which had happened unto him." Because this dude that was lame, he was like basically the city beggar. Everybody like recognized him because he was always on that street corner begging, or at the city gates begging. All right. It says, in, let's see, verse 11, and as the lame man which was healed held Peter and John, all the people ran together unto them in the porch that is called Solomon's, greatly wondering. All right, verse 12, and when Peter saw it, he answered unto the people, Ye men of Israel, why marvel ye at this? Or why look ye so earnestly on us, as though by our own power or holiness we had made this man walk? Because it wasn't through, it wasn't anything the apostles, it wasn't in the apostles' power to do that. All right, it was granted to them through Yahweh, through his son Yahushua, that they could do that. All right, it was Yahweh that put that spirit on them to do that. All right, verse 13, the power of Abraham and Isaac and Jacob, the power of our fathers hath glorified his son Yahushua, whom ye delivered up and denied him in the presence of Pilate, when he was determined to let him go. All right, so I mean, we're going to be saying the same thing. It's like we do this through the Most High Yahweh, through his son Yahushua, who all y'all scoffed at when we were preaching it on the corner. You know, the one that we call a so-called black man, the one with dark skin, white woolly hair, with red eyes, the one who died only for Israel, that hates heathens, the same God that y'all deny because y'all are too focused on Jesus Christ and God and Allah and all these false vanities, man. The one who you ignore is the power that we're going to be able to have spiritual power. That's going to grant the ones that stand so boldly for his name. That's who's going to get glory. All right. I'm going to bring out this scripture because Apostle Gabar brought out this scripture, and it was the first time I heard it. And it was one of those scriptures that gets you amped up. All right. See, this is it's Zechariah 12 and Slaki. Zechariah 12 and 8. In that day shall the Lord defend the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and he that is feeble among them at that day shall be as David. All right, feeble meaning lacking strength, or lacking some kind of physical ability or mental ability, because you got to remember this brain is our part of our flesh too. All right, you know, you might have like some kind of learning disability, you know, because that's weak flesh. You know, your brain's a muscle. All right. It says that they feeble among them at that day shall be as David. All right, and I'm gonna get some stuff describing the things that David did. All right, he had spiritual power. All right, and the house of David shall be as God. All right, and that God is uppercase, man. You know, we're gonna be like unto God. We're not gonna be, you know, we're not gonna like, our spirit isn't gonna like morph one with God. You know, like some people in bug out philosophies believe. All right, it just means that we're gonna be like him. All right, because we're gonna go by his laws, statutes, and commandments, and we're gonna be doing his will. We're gonna be one accord with him, just like Yahushua was. We're gonna be on one accord with Yahushua. That order is gonna be perfected. All right. And the house of David shall be as God, as the angel of the Lord before them. All right. So I mean, we're gonna be gods, man, rulers and judges. All right, because the verse under it says, "And it shall come to pass in that day that I will seek to destroy all the nations that come against Jerusalem, and I will pour upon the house of David and upon the inhabitants of Jerusalem the spirit of grace and of supplication, and they shall look up on me whom they have pierced, and they shall mourn for him as one mourneth for his only son, and shall be in bitterness for him as one that is bitterness for his firstborn. All right, so I mean that's when we're gonna get in order, and 2/3 are gonna feel that shame, that bitterness. All right, and start reverencing Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. But I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna highlight that point where it said, "Feeble among them, at that day shall be as David." All right, and I'm gonna get some accounts of some things David did. All right, slack you. Let's see. This is 1 Samuel chapter 17, verse 49. Or I'll start up a bit. I'll start at 48. And it came to pass when the Philistine arose, talking about Goliath, and came and drew nigh to meet David, that David hasted and ran toward the army to meet the Philistine. And David put his hand in his bag, and took thence a stone, and slang it, and smote the Philistine in his forehead, that the stone sunk into his forehead, and he fell upon his face to the earth. All right, so he had enough power to get a slingshot, put a stone in it, sling that shit, and it sink into his head. All right, it said that the stone sunk into his forehead. So it was like the first bullet wound, basically. Now, you can go and type in Aroldis Chapman. He's an MLB pitcher that can throw like up to 106 miles an hour. All right, but in 106 mile per hour baseball, it won't sink into you. It might bruise you pretty badly. You know, you can look up MLB hidden face by pitch, but it won't do that. That's spiritual power for it to sink into your fucking head, man. That's the kind of stuff that the feeble among us are gonna be doing. All right. You know, don't the scriptures say that we shall do greater works than Yahweh Shai? You know? Let's see. I'm gonna get Psalms 18. Probably need to be wrapping it up soon. But this is Psalms 18 and I'll just read I'll read 33. Alright, it says, "He maketh my feet like hinds' feet, and setteth me upon my high places." Right, because like a hind is like a deer. Now deers have hops, man. You can probably look up a video on YouTube of deers hopping over fences. They like clear 7-foot fences, and they jump like 4 lanes of like highway traffic, not traffic, but you know they still clear like one side of the 4-lane to the other, like 4 lanes. Not with cars in them, but probably at the middle, if you put a car on it, it'd probably clear it. Get like 5 feet high, but like 20 feet wide. They got hops, man. Verse 34, "He teacheth my hands to war, so that that a bow of steel is broken by mine arms." All right, steel, man. He breaks steel with his arms. That's how strong he was. I mean, you can. There's so much spirit, like examples of spiritual power in the scriptures. You know, you read about Samson, about how he he tore a lion up like it was a kid. You know, not like a kid, like a human kid. Kid meaning like baby goat. All right. Because if you've ever held like a baby animal, like their bones are real fragile. You know, they're like almost squishy, and their joints aren't held together very tight. You know, so it's like the scriptures likened of him ripping the lion up like you could rip up like a little kitten, basically. Um, it says, "Thou hast also given me the shield of thy salvation, and thy right hand hath holden me up, and thy gentleness hath made me great. Thou hast enlarged my steps under me, that my feet did not slip." So this is King David giving reverence to the Most High, all right? Because it is by him that he could do these things. And I was looking for it up here. But it basically says how he basically he ran through a troop, because you know that saying, he killed his tens of thousands but Saul his thousands. So that just shows that King David had bodies on him, man. Man, where is it? I don't know. I can't find it right now. If I find it later, I'll bring it out. But I also wanted to get I'll get Psalms 144. This is Psalms 144 and 1. "Blessed be the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Shai, my strength, which teacheth my hands to war, and my fingers to fight." So he knew that it wasn't him that was super badass. It was because of the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Shai. Because when you read the story of how he was anointed king, he was the youngest, he was the smallest of his brothers, and the spirit just came on Samuel, I believe, to anoint him king of Israel. You know, because the Lord told him, don't look on outward appearance. All right? Because I see, because David was after the Most High's heart. All right? So, I mean, if you're an Israelite that's seeking to please the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahshai, the Most High is going to do great things through you. And you got to believe that. All right? I mean, I'm sure brothers already have testimonies about how they've been delivered and have good testimonies. That's why it's important to feed the flock, man. Share those testimonies. Because look at the brother from Dallas. If he hadn't brought that out, you know, look at all the videos, the response videos. This being one of them. All right? This is, you know, this thing is about to blow up, man. America's about to blow up. All right? But with that, I hope this video is edifying, and shalom.